for Ndoye. Almeida again, he goes for the three. He's drawn the foul. So it'll be 3 from the free throw line for Zayd Almeida. And you mentioned him, Shona, just before the game as well. He was so important in that second game for Senegal. He had a little bit of a telling off, shall we call it that, from the coaching game they won. He just wasn't at it.
Yeah.
Couldn't get going, but great response.
Really great response. Scoring, definitely, but more than scoring, I just thought he did a better job of getting his team. I mean, he's the point guard, so you require your point guards to get your players in position, especially offensively. They didn't run anything in that first game. It was very stagnant. Not a lot of set plays, not a lot of movement. They weren't out and running. And, you know, he has to step up and take responsibility for that, and he really did in the second game.
And they certainly gave Australia a bit of a scare. 2 from 3 from the line for Zayd Almeida. Senegal with a 5-3 lead. Cory Joseph into Birch. Gathered up by Maurice Ndoye, the Senegalese captain. Faye. Ndoye once again. Leaves it to Sambe. Sambe cutting inside. Faye from distance gets his second 3 of the game.
And, you know, really in the first 2 games, I kind of complained about Senegal settling for 3-pointers, but maybe they can make them, so.
Well, there was a moment in game day 2, actually, when Faye hit back-to-back threes against Australia. A brief period when they led early in the game. Just demonstrating that they are capable. And they've hit a couple early on here to give themselves a 5-point lead against Canada. Almeida looks for a way through. Can't get it to go, and Ndoye recovers, and then he's unable to hold possession. Wiltshire to Birch. Brilliant play from Canada. Much needed. Ken Birch throws down with authority.
Yeah, and really that all started with the defensive stop and steal that Canada were able to force Senegal into, and then they were able to get out and run.
Ndoye. Sambe. And the offensive foul called against the Senegalese.
I think he might have been looking for a little bit of a flopping move there. I think Edgem is a little bit stronger than that. But it's kind of one of those veteran moves, you know, it's part of the game.
We'll see again Ken Birch getting those 2 points on the board after the turnover. Joseph to Pangos. Ken Birch. He draws the foul. It's Yusufa Ndoye who is penalised. Wiltshire. Cory Joseph. Edgem. Wiltshire for 3. Not this time. Get it again and can go again with a hook finish, and this time it's good. 2 more for Carl Wiltshire. Averaging 15 points a game. At this tournament so far, most of those coming on game day 2. Yusufa Ndoye puts up a shot and gets it. There's Pangos. Pangos with a floated pass up to Birch. And couldn't hold it there, Ken Birch. And Senegal have been aggressive but disciplined in their defensive work so far.
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually think maybe Canada's not really taking advantage of the way that Senegal is playing defensively, but, you know, if Canada's not hitting outside shots other than Wiltshire, go ahead and let them shoot from the outside.
There's Ndoye. Gets a pass out to Fai. Shown his ability from distance. Can't get the layup to go. Ejim gets it away quickly to Pangos. Still Kevin Pangos. He gets the shot away just inside. It'll be 2 for Kevin Pangos. And Canada make it a 1-point game, 10-9. Almeida. Oh, great pass, and finished by Youssoufa Ndoye. Excellent response again from Senegal, and that was really top work from Saint Almeida.
Yeah, it was, and that's what you felt that he brought them in the game against Australia. He was just being aggressive and attacking.
Wiltshire, again for 3, no good. And Lamine Sambe finds Ndoye. Mohamed Fai looks for the layup, draws the foul, and he'll go to the line for 2 free throws. Strong start here from the Senegalese.
Yeah, I like the patience that they're playing with on offense. You know, certain times, especially in the first game. I mean, it's hard to talk about their first game. It really was. But also 2 days ago in their second game of the tournament against Australia, they did a lot better job of moving the ball around. You know, each possession, more than 1 or 2 people were touching it. They were coming off screens, they were back cutting, they were setting good screens, looking to shoot, but also looking to attack. And I like that. I like that, you know, Faye has knocked down 2 early threes, and then his last 2 possessions, he's attacked the basket.
Keeping Canada guessing at the moment. Mohamed Fai makes 1 from 2 from the line. 4-point lead for the African team as Scrub goes for the 3 and doesn't get it to go. So Scrub into the game. Owen Klassen is also on court for Canada at the moment. Here is Mohamed Fai again. Klassen in the way, but Fai finds a way.
Great move. I mean, that's what opens up when you knock down a couple of threes early. They have to play you and they have to respect you and use your speed and athleticism. That's what we've seen Fai do.
Ndoye keeping tabs on Wiltshire. This is Melvin Ejim. Puts it up. Can't get it to go. Klassen underneath it. Competing with Ndoye, who wins the rebound. And away comes Senegal again. They've opened up a 6-point lead. Almeida to Maurice Ndoye. Sambe. And Youssoufa Ndoye can't get it to go. Pangos, Wiltshire. Good battle between Wiltshire and Maurice Ndoye at the moment. Out to Scrub. Here is Kevin Pangos for 3. Just wouldn't go, and Maurice Ndoye snatches the rebound. Dalmeida looks to lay it up in off the glass. Beautifully done by Dalmeida. He has really started well. 4 points for him. 8 points now, the lead for Senegal with just over 2.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Klassen denied. We'll get a second chance here. Scrub for 3, just a little short, and Ndoye gathers in the rebound.
And these are just not, in my opinion, they're not good shot attempts for Canada. They've attempted 7 threes and only 9 2-point attempts. I mean, that can't be really on par. They're only 1 of 7 from the 3-point line.
Youssoufa Ndoye. He misses his 3-point attempt, and Pangos tidies up. Down to Wiltshire. Pangos again. Quick rotation here from Canada. Klassen denied by Dalmeida. Great defense again from Senegal. Dalmeida at the heart of it. It's a terrific block by Saint Dalmeida on Owen Klassen.
You know, I don't think this is the case, but maybe Canada's front line is a little bit intimidated by the front line of Senegal, so that's why they're not as strong and as attacking as much as they probably should be. I mean, I know they have had open 3-point shots that they've missed, but when you've missed a few threes consecutively in a row, that can't be your next shot attempt. you have to come up with something else. Either, you know, a pull-up, backdoor, a layup. You need to look at a different score.
Here comes Senegal again with Thiam putting it up and getting it to go in off the glass. At the moment, Senegal running away with it. They've opened up a 10-point lead. Early days still, of course. Owen Morgan. There's Phil Scrub. And denied by Hamadi Ndiaye. Another block for Senegal. And the three-point attempt, oh, it's devastating from Senegal here. And it's that man again, Mohamed Faye, with his third three. He's into double digits, and Senegal have a 13-point lead.
And really, Oscar, I mean, I think Coach Nick Nurse had to call a timeout because their last few offensive possessions, they have just not been good basketball. I mean, they're not really running a lot. They're settling for a lot of shots, which is what Senegal are giving them. They're kind of saying right now, you know what, you have to score from the outside to beat us, and they're not beating them. But also defensively, I think it's a little disappointing if you're you know, the Canadian coaching staff, because they're not digging down. In my opinion, it seems like Senegal can kind of do whatever they want offensively and defensively right now.
Bring the ball. We're going 31 cross for Cory. 31 cross for Cory. There you go. Keep moving the ball. We're right there. Thank you.
Well, Mustafa Gueye will be absolutely delighted with his team start here. Come flying out of the blocks. And what about that man, Mohamed Faye? What a start from him. 12 points on the board already, 3 threes. Flawless. It's Cory Joseph for Canada. Gets it to go.
And that's kind of what you want to see, especially after calling a timeout. You want to see Canada run, have a little bit of movement, and that's exactly what they did. And sure enough, I thought, you know, it was a nice aggressive drive by Cory Joseph, little baseline jumper.
It's Dalmeida, and he goes for 3. He couldn't get it to go, and Faye and Ndiaye between them, not able to claim the rebound. Cory Joseph again. The foul's been called. As Dalmeida has been penalised. Closing in on the end of this first quarter here. Senegal with that 11-point advantage. Canada looking to make these final few seconds count. Conor Morgan gets a shot away, but can't get it to go. Frustrating first quarter so far. But Canada almost at the end of it here. Just a couple of seconds for Senegal to try something out.
In 3.3 seconds, they do have time to get it down the court and maybe a decent shot.
And they've got it to Faye. Oh, he wasn't far away. That would have been 4 from 4 from deep for Mohamed Faye. It was an ambitious attempt, but worth a go at this stage in the game because Canada have it all to do at the end of the first quarter. Down by 11, Senegal lead at 22 points to 11.
As the longest running church struggle with the basketball project, TCL has been supporting the development of basketball.
Here you have the stats. I mean, look at that. Canada's only shooting 25% compared to 50%. And I really think it's a three-point shooting, 43% for Senegal. I mean, they've already more or less made more threes than they have in the first 2 games of this tournament. And, you know, I questioned why were they settling for threes, but so far here today, early in this game, they've proven that they can knock them down, especially Faye.
It's kind of a similar pattern from Canada, isn't it, that we saw in the first two games? That slow start, it just takes them a little while to get going. I mean, obviously they had that wonderful third quarter in the first game against Australia, and they matched Lithuania for the middle part of that second game as well, but they had a deficit to make up and they just couldn't catch them.
Yeah, you're right. They scored 14 points in that first quarter against Lithuania. You know, they were down 10, 14-24, and they never made ground. Really, that's what it was. It was good basketball after that, and they, you know, stayed equal, made a little bit of a run, but by the time the quarter ended, they still always seemed to be down 10 points. I don't think Senegal plays the type of defense that Lithuania does, so maybe we will be able to see Canada come out a little bit more aggressive, keep attacking the basket. I mean, those shots are good shots, but they're not falling right now. So go ahead, attack the basket, be confident, run your set plays, have people coming off. I'm not too worried. You know, 11 points in a quarter is not a lot of points. Canada are very much capable of scoring and scoring quickly. We saw it in the first game in that third quarter, but they don't want to let this lead balloon for Senegal.
So it is 11 points, the difference at the moment. We're seeing some of the contributions of Mohamed Faye in that first quarter. 3 threes he made in the end, 3 from 4 from distance. The fourth one was right on the buzzer, just a rather hopeful one. But overall, terrific start here from the African side. Points difference took a huge hit on game day one.
It's also, I think, why, you know, if Senegal want to have a chance to get that berth to the Olympics with that African spot, points difference. If they are tied with another African team, that first game, I mean, it really could come back and hurt them.
Yeah, 3 of the other 4 African teams have won a game. Tunisia, Angola, and Nigeria. Only Cote d'Ivoire lost all 3 as Hamady Ndiaye throws one down for Senegal. And just increasing that lead, 13-point difference now. It's Cory Joseph. Ken Birch. Denied by Hamady Ndiaye. Good defense again from the Senegalese as Cory Joseph throws one up again. It's been a really good intense start this from Senegal.
Yeah, I think defensively, I mean, offensively Senegal are knocking down shots and they're getting good looks, but I think defensively they're playing, so far I think this is their best defensive effort that they've put forward in this tournament.
Long 3 attempted and it's good from Conor Morgan. Big 3-pointer for Canada, much needed. And back to a 10-point game.
Conor Morgan, the late arrival for this Canadian team, playing in Spain. He did come directly from Spain to China.
Thiam gets it out to Hamady Ndiaye. Ndiaye is running out of time.
And, you know, I want to say good job defensively by Canada, but really I think that was poor offense by Senegal. The times that they've got open looks and scores, they're moving, they're running plays where they were a little bit stagnant, so they didn't really know who was in what spot, where they were supposed to be.
You mentioned their sort of long-range shooting overall over the last couple of games. Do you think then that will be the plan in the long term in this game for Canada, to try and force them into those long-range shooting, even though they've started pretty well with those long-range efforts? Is that, do you think they'll try and do that?
Yeah. I mean, if you're scouting the Senegalese team, absolutely. You're saying, you know what, they haven't shot the ball well in this tournament so far. Do you continue to kind of bank on the fact that they're not going to be able to shoot well? That being said, you know, they did shoot 24 three-pointers against Australia. They were 5 for 21. and they shot 23. So they're actually taking a lot of attempts. They were only 1 for 23 in the first game, which for a team who hasn't shot well from 3, those are a lot of attempts. And typically in this tournament, I mean, Senegal in the last World Cup they made the least amount of 3-pointers in the entire tournament. They shot slightly better percentage-wise, but it was still in the low 20s. So that's not a good 3-point shooting team. So I think this is a hot start. I'm not sure they can keep this up.
There's Sambe, though, for Senegal, driving inside and getting it to go. In off the glass, beautifully banked in.
But what I like is that they haven't, they've started, well, really it was Faye, right? And Dalmida had that 3 but got fouled, so went to the free throw line. They're not relying on just shooting the ball from outside.
Heslip goes for the 2. Can't get it to go. Maurice Ndor gathers in the rebound. Still a 9-point lead for Senegal. Sambe to Babacar Touré. Goes inside again, can't get it to go. It's a good claim by Thomas Scrub. Gets it out to Connor Morgan. Cory Joseph. Oh, and he's denied by Hamady Ndiaye. But there is a foul. Birch drawing that foul, he'll go to the line. Good block initially from Ndiaye. There'll still be a chance here for Canada to put some points on the board. A terrific block there from Hamady Ndiaye.
That's already his 3rd block of the game. Senegal has 4 as a team. And, Canada needs to stay aggressive, and they can't be really intimidated by the fact that Senegal does have 4 blocks. I mean, I thought right there, that man, good follow-up after Cory Joseph's layup to stay with it, and he was rewarded. He got to, he got to the free throw line.
Well, they are eating into the deficit at the moment, Canada. Making up a little bit of ground.
But, we saw them down the entire game against Australia. They were down 17 points against Australia in the first half, only down 12 at halftime. You saw that great 3rd quarter by them, but it took everything out of them, and they had nothing left when it came to the 4th quarter. Also, Australia played an amazing 4th quarter defensively and offensively, but for a team that's always having to fight back and claw back, it's tiring. It's tiring to play that style of basketball.
Faye again. Couldn't get it to go, would have been his 4th 3. On a real hot streak in that first quarter. Cory Joseph, he goes for the 3. He's drawn the foul. Mohamed Faye is the man penalised. Joseph will go to the line again. He'll get 3 attempts. Can get Canada to within 5 if he makes all of his attempts here. Cory Joseph.
Faye with those 3 3-pointers already. He's only made 2 in this tournament, shooting only 15%. So clearly he's feeling it today. But like I said, there was such an improvement from game day 1 to game day 2 for Senegal. And I already feel as though they're playing better in this 3rd game. And we said it during that first game. They're going to play better. It was just, they weren't ready. They weren't prepared. Coach came in a little late. So I'm not surprised that we're also seeing an elevated level of play from the Senegalese team.
It certainly has been that so far. Canada will be reasonably pleased with their start to the 2nd quarter, and a good turnover here, and it's completely open for Kem Birch to take full advantage. Big dunk from Kem Birch. Mishandled there by Senegal, and Birch on hand to take full advantage and get Canada to within 3 points. It has been a good start to the 2nd quarter as a timeout is called.
Pendant 30 secondes, nous faut layup sur la balle avant de jouer. Il revient. Mohamed Faye, prend la seconde. Maurice, il attention, donne la balle aux gens 2 points. Voilà ce qui se passe pendant 30 secondes. Vous voulez qu'on gagne? Plus de sérieux, plus de rigueur dans le jeu. Dans la gestion de la balle. On joue pour gagner, on ne joue pas pour bien jouer. Allez, on se mobilise. On reste ensemble, les gars. Patience.
There you saw the shooting percentages so far in this game between Canada and Senegal. I mean, really, right now, it's kind of the free throw shooting that Canada's doing a good job. That's helping them stay in the game. Typically, Canada, a very good free throw shooting team.
Saw the turnover there that led to that dunk from Birch just before the timeout was called by Senegal. 5 points for Birch. And 2 rebounds as well. And just starting to hit their stride, Canada. It's Mohamed Faye. Maurice Ndor steps back for the 2. It's no good. And Brady Heslip able to grab that rebound as the 3-point attempt goes up from Ejim. And Birch felt that he was fouled there. Referee's happy with what they saw. Hamady Ndiaye is fouled though.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that's the best shot attempt. Shot attempt by Ejim there that last time down. You know, I like it. I like when Canada plays fast. I just think, you know, I'm sure he would like to take that back. Maybe, you know, ran a drag screen with the big.
It's nicely put away by Sambe. 5-point lead once again for Senegal. Still over 5 minutes left in the first half. Cory Joseph gets it out to Heslip in the corner. We know how good he can be from that kind of position. Brilliant claim by Birch. Tied it up by Pangos. Cory Joseph again. Lays it up and in off the glass. He can have such a big say in this game, Cory Joseph.
Yeah, I thought he was excellent for them in the first game against Australia. Against Lithuania, I felt it was as though he kind of got a little tired and started forcing it a little bit too much. He is one of those guys who, for Canada, I mean, he has committed.
Heslip, so good from that kind of range. Breaks 3-point shooting records all over the place, Brady Heslip. His first of the game, and it ties the game at 28 all. It's Maurice Ndor. Faye looking for the bounce pass into Ndor. Good defense from Canada. And this is Pangos out to Heslip again. Not this time. Ejim claims the rebound. Joseph. Pangos for 3, uncontested. And nothing but net from Kevin Pangos, and Canada lead for the first time in the game. (31-28). Sambe looks to level things up once more. Can't get it to go. Dalmeida out to 5. Bounce pass to Ndor. Dalmeida once again. Sambe drives in. He's been effective there, but it's slapped away by Ken Birch. Big rejection. Terrific block there from Ken Birch. You see Brady Heslip as well converting. Pangos rather for 3. Both of them hitting 3-pointers in the last few moments to give Canada the advantage here.
What I think Canada has done is an excellent job of offensive rebounding, though. They're getting second chances because, you know, they have missed quite a few shots, especially early. But, I mean, Ken Birch, he already has 3 offensive rebounds for them. Klassen came in, played a couple minutes, already picked up 2 offensive rebounds. You know, when you're not knocking down your shots as consistently as you're used to, what do? You have to offensive rebound. And they're doing a great job. I mean, they've already out-rebounded Senegal 9-1. Canada averaging just over 8 offensive rebounds a game compared to 14 for Senegal. Sorry, they have 3 offensive rebounds. So, you know, for Canada to be out rebounding Senegal is a very good statistical line.
It's Maurice Ndor. Sambe, bounce pass into Ndor. He can't get his pass to its intended target, and Brady Heslip can come away with it. Gets it out to Pangos. Pangos switching to edge him for 3. And it was beautifully worked by Canada, just lacking that final touch. Seven to 4 in terms of turnovers at the moment. More turnovers from Senegal, but Canada now starting to establish themselves here. Joseph steps back for the 3, can't get it to go. And Almeida looking to go it alone and can't get it in off the glass, and Birch comes in to claim the rebound. Showing his defensive qualities in the last few moments, Ken Birch. Three offensive and 2 defensive rebounds from Ken Birch. And just a bit of a lull in the scoring from both teams here, so it is Canada who still lead. 3 points up in quarter number 2, just under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Senegal have called a timeout.
Il court en transition, ils sont écartés. Nous, on revient à l'arrêt. On revient là. À la place, on joue pas, non. Si on n'est pas patient, on va pas y aller. C'est amener la balle en dessous. Travailler en dessous. Let's go. Let's go.
Congratulations to the fans. You'll be receiving FIBA Basketball World Cup memorabilia souvenirs. FIBA, refreshing, and anti-fatigue.
So the final couple of minutes in this second quarter. Senegal have only added 6 to their tally in quarter number 2. And that long-distance shooting has not been as effective. Now 3 from 12 from beyond the arc. The shot goes up from Joseph, and incidentally, he is starting to hit his stride. 9 points. 5-point lead for Canada. Great recovery from them in this second quarter. They've got themselves into a much stronger position, but that was much needed for Senegal. Babacar Touré getting the 3 this time. And they're back to within 2. It's Cory Joseph. Wiltshire. Almost out of time here. Pangos has to go from distance. Shot clock was running down. Had no option but to take it on. Saint Almeida. That's the pass out. And Momar Ndoye looking for Hamady Ndiaye. Can't find him.
And, you know, with that last three from Senegal, they've already scored more threes that they have averaged in every game in this tournament so far. So I think that's a really good sign for them.
It's the first three they've made in this quarter, though, as Momar Ndoye draws the foul. And we'll go to the line for a couple of free throws here and a chance to tie the game. Have another look at Babacar Touré's three-pointer from a few moments ago. 4 from 13 in this first half for Senegal.
And they've only made 6 in this entire tournament. So shots are falling for them, but what I like is that they're not just relying on them. They're also staying aggressive and trying to get to the basket, get inside via penetration and in post-ups.
Misses the second free throw there, Momar Ndoye, so Senegal are still trailing, but only by 1. This is Joseph, and pass was intended for Melvin Edgeham. And didn't find its intended recipient. Overall, a pretty good first half from Cory Joseph. 9 points for him, top scorer for the Canadians so far. A couple of assists as well. Senegal looking to snatch the lead in the closing moments, but it's been turned over by Canada. And here is Kevin Pangos, who gets a shot away. Can't make it on the buzzer, but it is the end of the first half, and it is a lead for Canada, which, when you consider they were 11 points down at the halfway stage, Nick Nurse will be really happy with their response. It is Canada 33, Senegal 32 at the halfway stage.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Quick look at shooting percentages for both teams here. 28% for Canada compared to 41% for Senegal. Senegal, their three-point shooting in that second quarter kind of went down a little bit. 9 assists to 7 for Senegal. Canada have forced Senegal into 8 turnovers, and they've converted that to 10 points. So that's really something that you have to look at and say, okay, you know what, what's working for us? One, being aggressive, getting to the free throw line, because Canada is shooting great from the free throw line. Here you have the leaders, Joseph with 9 and Faye with 12. But, you know, stay aggressive on defense. Force them into turnovers, because when we're able to force them into turnovers, we can get out and run, and we're incredibly effective when we do that. So, you know, don't lighten up at all. Not even just turnovers. I mean, if you can rebound the ball defensively, if you're Canada, quick outlet, get up the court, I think that's when they're at their best, really. And I mean, this is the first time Canada's ever been up at halftime in this tournament so far. So you're just wondering if they can kind of, you know, take that momentum that they had from the second quarter. They had a slow first quarter and keep pushing. If I'm Senegal, I'm not too worried. I don't think that was the best quarter of basketball that they played. Maybe go back and, you know, talk about what was working in the first quarter for them. Keep attacking, you know, look for your outside shot, but don't settle. But definitely keep attacking, keep attacking, keep attacking. And, you know, put the pressure on Canada a little bit. See if they can step up and get stops.
Well, it's brilliantly poised, as we thought it might be. These two pretty well matched so far. Explosive start from Senegal, good response from Canada. A one-point game at the halfway point. Canada 33, Senegal 32. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Bigger applause for the Super Hotties.
谢谢他们精彩的演出。
你能从一片空白里看到可能吗？有些人要看到证据，等有人做到了，才敢出手。但那些第一个行动的人，他们等我吗？他们直接出手，不管有没有人做到过。你能从一片空白里看到可能吗？
在这条路上，我们始终同行，就算起点不同，终点总是一样。
没有看不见的路，只有不敢冲破的障碍。
越是狭窄的路，越要勇敢迈步。
再难的上坡路，也要逆风并肩而上。
路不是一个人走。
中国人寿伴您前行，为您提供专业全面的综合金融服务与保障。
关键一投决定未来，要投就投中国人寿。
看FIBA篮球世界杯，用 TCL 大屏，急速冷冻，锁住新生，更类型，更健康。一夜柔风，一夜舒顺。恒泰热水全家倡议。TCL 219FIBA篮球世界杯全球合作伙伴。
Yao Foundation is a non-profit organization founded by Yao Ming in 2008. It's dedicated to aiding underprivileged rural children in China and help them develop in various ways. As the official NPO partner of the 2019 FIBA Basketball World Cup, Yao Foundation launched.
It's going to be an easy 2 points right here for Lennon. Oh, Paolo! With a 360 turn and then a slam dunk.
Paczynski, bounce pass. What a play by Poland.
Again, Coach Taylor has to be pleased with the off-ball movement. People don't stand around on this team.
Gasol with a massive three. Surely the dagger in the game. Touch pass and Mejri throws it down, draws the foul. He'll go to the line for a bonus.
Man, they just did the same thing Puerto Rico did to them.
6 on the shot clock. Here comes Brown. Brown, step back for 3. Oh! Can you believe it? What a 3 from Brown! And with 5 seconds to go, Puerto Rico take the lead.
My parents gave me away, so I had no purpose in this life. Yeah. When you educate a woman, you educate a nation. It's a quote from Nelson Mandela, by the way.
Well, welcome back to Dongguan. Second half of this third game in the group between Canada and Senegal about to get underway. Just a few minutes away now. 1 point separating these two teams at the halfway stage. Canada leading Senegal by 33 points to 32. It was an explosive start from Senegal and a good response from Canada. Is this what we expected, Shona, from what we've seen over the last couple of days? This kind of a close game, but also what you've seen in terms of the performance from both teams as well?
Yeah, I mean, you and I knew it was going to be a close game. A little shocked by the slow start of Canada, but I think they responded very, very well. I love the way that Senegal came out. I think they need to play just as aggressive as they did in that first quarter. I think they went away from that. But that being said, Canada stepped things up, and defensively they did a lot better job. I mean, if you're Canada and you're going into the locker room, you're saying, what do we need to do? We need to force them into turnovers, because Canada have already scored 10 points off of turnovers. And then second chance points, which means offensive rebounds. They have 13 points after that. So that's what you got to do. You got to crash the boards. I'm surprised with Senegal. Here you see 5, but really, 12 points already. I don't remember him scoring in that second quarter. So he went cold, top scorer for them in the first quarter, came out on fire. He didn't play a whole ton of minutes in the second quarter either, actually. So, maybe get him involved in a little bit more of the actions for Senegal. I think Dalmeida needs to get his team together for Senegal, needs to kind of take control again, run some things, be aggressive. If you're Canada, do exactly what you did in that second quarter. You only held Senegal to 10 points. You only scored 11 points in the first quarter, but you ended up with 33 at the half. So just keep attacking, be aggressive, really for both teams. This is going to go down to the wire, but we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, you mentioned 5 there. He hit 3 from 4 from the three-point line in the first quarter, and then none from 2 in the second. He actually has missed his last 3 attempts, having made the first 3. So that could be, maybe where there's a little bit of a difference in terms of their points total, should we say, from that first quarter to the second quarter. And with Canada, it's been different. They, as you say, started slowly. Cory Joseph has been getting more and more into the game. Not the only one. There's been a few who have made a difference. And Cory Joseph, so important. So important. I mean, he already has 9 points for them. For either team to win, though, I think they're going to have more than just one person stepping up and scoring. So we saw Fi do it for Senegal in that first half, especially in the first quarter. Cory Joseph has kind of stepped up for Canada, especially in that second quarter. He has 9 points, but it's going to have to be other players. You need more than a couple players in double-digit scoring to win a game. So, is it going to be Heslip? Is it going to be Wiltshire? Is Birch going to get involved? Can Dalmeida come through? Can you continue to get shots for Faye? What about Endor? We haven't really seen him yet, and he is the captain. He's the leader of the Senegalese team. He needs to get involved. Yeah, still plenty to come, you would imagine, over the next 20 minutes for both teams. Such an explosive start from Senegal. They would have been absolutely delighted with their points tally in that first quarter. Remember, they were up by 11, 22-11 at the end of the first. Canada able to turn that around in the second. And that is something that Nick Nurse will still be a little bit worried about looking forward to the next games, won't he? Because it's now 3 games in a row where they've found themselves a long way behind at the end of the first quarter, and they can't keep doing that.
No, that you really can't. And I don't know if that's preparation. Are they ready to play when do you change something in warm-up? Do does he need to change something in his pregame speech? I'm not really sure, but definitely at this level and against better teams, you can't get down. I think they got lucky that they're playing Senegal, who maybe aren't quite as talented as Lithuania and Australia, but it's just so difficult if you get down early to kind of crawl your way back. They are back. They do have a 1-point lead. They've only really ever led in this tournament, that 1-point lead against Australia at the end of the third quarter. So they're not really used to this. My question is, does Canada have the skill, the experience to just put Senegal away right now? Or is Senegal going to show up and say, you know what, we want this more because we know we have an automatic berth possibly to next year's Olympics on the line?
Yeah, that of course is hugely important for both teams. Olympic qualification is one of the main reasons to perform well in this tournament. And with the African sides unable to make it through to the second phase, they are all going to be in the classification phase. They're all in with a chance of snatching that one automatic spot, which takes them straight to Tokyo. Senegal will want a win to take with them into that classification phase if that is to be the case. They have failed to put points on the board with their first attack of the third quarter. Kyle Wiltshire finds Kevin Pangos. This is Melvin Ejim. Out to Wiltshire. Cory Joseph. Wiltshire couldn't get it to go, got his shot away in time. And Maurice Ndor tidying things up for Senegal. Quiet first half from him, as you mentioned, Shona. If he can have a big say in the second, he'll certainly give Canada some problems.
Yeah, I mean, Ndor has just seemed passive to me so far in this game compared to what we saw in the first two games for Senegal.
And particularly in that second game, wasn't it? He really, right from the start, you could see he was really leading his team. Him and Dalmeida were so important in getting them off to a really good start against Australia. And certainly expect to see more from the Senegalese captain in the second half. And here come Canada with Ken Birch. Out to Wiltshire, he's a long way away. Did get his shot away in time though. And Canada have a second opportunity with Ejim, who nails the long two to extend Canada's lead.
And again, offensive rebounding paying off for Canada.
Turnover again here, and Ndor doing his best to wrestle back possession. Senegal do have it. Yusufa Ndoye.
I think the refs are discussing right now if Canada actually ever had possession or just sort of touched the ball. So if they didn't, then it shouldn't be a shot clock reset. If Canada did have possession, it's fine. It goes back to a 24. So yeah, they determined that Canada never... Yeah, so they're resetting the shot clock to 10 seconds, saying that Canada didn't actually have possession.
So 3-point lead for Canada. Senegal have 10 seconds to make this count. Ndoye under pressure from Birch. Sambe, quick look at the shot clock. Gets it away in time and gets it to go. The long three from Lamine Sambe ties the game for Senegal.
Good job by Sambe there with a little bit of a shot fake, head fake. Got Ejim off of his feet.
Offensive foul called. Great work from Sambe with the clock ticking down. Saint Almeida. Sambe to Yusufa Ndoye. The bounce pass into Dalmeida, who draws the foul and will go to the line. Well, that was the initial call anyway. It's been overturned. A tied game as things stand. Cory Joseph going for the long two and making it into double digits. Takes his personal tally to 11. Joseph averaging 15.5 points across the first 2 games. Sambe goes for another 3. Not this time, gathered by Birch, and here's Pangos, moving it on to Ejim. Great play by Canada. Lovely layup from Ejim.
You know, we saw it in the first half. Every time either Canada gets a defensive stop and... Oh!
There he is! There's Maurice Ndor.
Said he needs to get involved.
Big statement from Senegal's captain, announcing his arrival, but how about that for a response from Cory Joseph, and this game is starting to catch fire. There's Sambe. Maurice Ndor. Super Ndor, he gets a shot away. It's an easy rebound for Melvin Ejim. It's Kevin Pangos. Wiltshire from distance. No good. Out to Ndor here for Senegal. Down by 5 here. As Dalmeida hands it off nicely to Ndor, who does draw the foul, and this time there will be a trip to the line. And how about that from Maurice Ndor? That's what we wanted to see from him. Fabulous from Senegal's captain. And 2 from 2 for Youssoufa Ndoye. Canada now lead by 3. Cory Joseph, and he gets a 3. He is really racking up the points now. 17 for Cory Joseph.
I liked it though, you know, it wasn't just kind of staggered or standing around watching, creating on your own. He came off a down screen, read it well.
A great response from Sambe. It's raining threes in Dongguan all of a sudden. His second of the game, and the latest player to reach double figures. Canada still have the advantage. Increased their lead by 2 since the halfway stage. Wiltshire picked out by Pangos. Melvin Ejim steps back for the 2. It's good. Excellent shooting from both sets of players at the moment.
Yeah, 6 points for Ejim. You know, I talked for both these teams, they need other people to step up and make baskets.
Here's Kevin Pangos for Canada. The bounce pass into Cory Joseph. Pangos tidies up again. Out to Joseph again. 3-point attempt again. And it's good again from Cory Joseph. 20 points for Canada's number 6.
I think he's just trying to prove me wrong and saying, you know what, I don't need other people to help me out. I can do it myself.
Another assist for Kevin Pangos. It's 4 for him in this game. He tied the Canadian record in game day 1 with 8, then got 8 again on game day 2. And pass thrown up to Youssoufa Ndoye. It'll be Canada's ball. Contributions coming from all over really from Canada, but it's the 20 points of Cory Joseph that have made the biggest dent in Senegal so far.
And he hasn't been forcing them. I mean, you know, he's reading the plays correctly and he's open, and they're good shots when he's open.
3 from 4, his 3-point attempts so far in the game. And here he is again. Goes it alone, can't get it to go this time. It's a tough shot, that one. He's just so full of confidence at the moment, quite rightly as well.
But I really, missed opportunity here for Senegal to grab the defensive rebound. It was 4 Senegalese defenders there. Senegal can't let this score really balloon.
Hamadi Ndiaye with a big block, with the offensive foul was called anyway. Owen Klassen, who's been singled out by the officials. Momar Ndoye for Senegal. Hussein Dalmeida. 3-point attempt from Faye, falling back, unable to make it count. Pangos takes on the shot himself. I think it's going to be a 2-pointer. Senegal call the timeout. They've fallen further behind in this third quarter so far. They're now down by 10, 52 points to 42. And Canada now starting to seize control of this one.
And I'm really not sure Senegal can let this lead get out of hand, because I don't know if they have maybe the skill set to come back. There's 3 minutes left in this quarter. You don't want it to get out of hand. For both these teams, I mean, they're going to carry over their points and wins if they can pull off a win here today to the next round. And you could possibly finish 17th at this World Cup if they get a win, and then 2 more wins in the qualification round, and then move on after that, which you might be one of those 16 teams that also gets a bid to one of next year's qualification tournaments for the Olympics. There you see Cory Joseph getting a little bit of a break. 20 points for him so far. 11 points in this quarter.
It's Kevin Pangos for Canada. Drains the 3. Another impressive performance from Kevin Pangos. 10 points for him. Slightly above his tournament average of 8.5. So Momar Ndoye looks for Mohamed Faye, who goes for it and gets it just inside. It's only 2 for Mohamed Faye. As Pangos couldn't quite make that one drop. He's got it again. All action point guard for Canada. Thomas Scrubb steps back for the 3. The foul is called. He'll go to the line. They can inflict some more damage on Senegal here.
First free throw attempts for Canada in this quarter.
One from 2 so far for Thomas Scrubb. Well, Morgan had the rebound initially but couldn't hold it. Momar Ndoye. Mohamed Faye. unable to keep hold of it. Heslip, back to Kevin Pangos. Pangos with a pass to Scrub. Morgan can't get it to go. Klassen with the rebound. Pangos again, hands it off to Brady Heslip, and he can't get it to go either.
Again, great offensive rebounding by Canada, though. I mean, they're really giving themselves opportunities to score again. Do you almost feel like every time you see Brady Heslip shoot the ball that it's going to go in? So when he misses, you're almost like, oh, he is human. That does happen.
Yeah, he certainly just looks confident every time he has the ball in his hand. He's actually not been quite at his best today. Only 1 from 4 from the three-point line. Out of character. He played such a huge part in getting them to this World Cup in the first place. It's a 12-point lead for Canada as things stand here. They'll be pretty happy with the way things are at the moment as Pangos looks to go it alone. Can't get it to drop, and Conor Morgan a little unfortunate. Claimed again by Thomas Scrub. Morgan again. Morgan forced into a turnover, out to Dalmeida. It's Momar Ndoye for Senegal. Good claim by Babacar Touré. He banks it in. 10-point game again. Pangos goes it alone for 3 and nails it. His shooting's been excellent today.
Yeah, not really
points.
As much of a distributor, but keep in mind 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists, and 2 steals also.
And good numbers once again from Kevin Pangos. Oh, good block by Morgan to deny Dalmeida. 3-point attempt is no good. No contact on the rim there. Shot clock ran down. 13-point lead. Well, this was Pangos hitting another 3, his 3rd of the game. Could argue he's been Canada's most consistent performer at this tournament so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, a lot of Canadian fans and basketball fans kind of compare him to the Steve Nash, the most famous Canadian basketball player. And I think it's rightly so. You know, he plays for FC Barcelona, had great years in Lithuania for their EuroLeague team, Žalgiris. So he's played at some of the top clubs in Europe. He was second team all EuroLeague that year that he helped take Žalgiris to the Final Four.
Point difference here as Morgan and Pangos not quite able to combine as they intended. Lemin Sambe gets up the 3 just in time, but it's short as well. No change to the scoreboard, but Canada will be pretty happy with the way things are at the moment. They were down by 10, down by 11 rather at the end of the first quarter. They come into the final 10-minute period with a 13-point lead, 59-46, and they will be delighted with that scoreline.
And there the field goals. Canada slowly creeping up. Senegal still shooting 40%, 52% from 2-point range, but really 41%, 12 of 29 for Canada from 3. They were only 4 of 19 at halftime. So, you know, Joseph, Pangos, other players stepped up and really kind of took over in that third quarter for them. And I think that's a big reason why they've been able to pull away, and they have a 13-point lead. You know, I mentioned earlier around the 3 minutes, there you see the dunk by Endor. You know, with 3 minutes left in the quarter, I said, Senegal, they don't want to let this lead get any bigger. And I think it was around 10 points at that time. I'm not sure Senegal are talented enough, you know, this team that they have here, to be able to come back. That being said, there's 10 minutes left. I've seen much crazier things. Anything is possible, especially at this level. You know, they have a lot riding on this game, as do Canada. You know, with a win for Canada, moving on to the next round, you know, they want to finish as high as they possibly can at this tournament to get that, have the opportunity to play an Olympic qualification tournament. And also where they finish here is FIBA is going to come out with a world ranking after this tournament, and Canada wants to move up the ranks. And they need to finish better than what they're ranked right now and better than what other teams are ranked for them to be able to move up. And that will also help with their, you know, classification and where they go to that Olympic qualifying tournament.
Yeah, the qualifying tournament is Canada's avenue to the Olympic Games in Tokyo in 2020. Senegal's hope of finishing as the top African team here rely on a pretty big fourth quarter here as Cory Joseph puts it away and really picking up where he left off, adding another 2 to his impressive tally. 22 points now for Cory Joseph. Offensive foul called. They've got a good amount of control here. It's Conor Morgan drawing the foul. Well, such a promising start from Senegal. They're going to need to replicate that first quarter performance to stand any chance here. As Klassen draws the foul, and he will go to the line for a couple of free throws. Klassen missing his first free throw. Making the second. Five rebounds for Owen Klassen.
Yeah, he's played solid minutes for Canada off the bench here today.
Almeida. Now to Lamine Sambe. Klassen penalised, and Ndoye drawing the foul.
His third personal ball.
Klassen getting a hand to it there. Keeping close tabs on Youssoufa Ndoye.
And we do know that both these teams are moving on to the classification round. And they will be playing Germany and Jordan. So we know that those are their next two opponents. They won't play each other again. They will be going to the same city, but they won't play each other again. They'll just have 2 games against those 2 teams. So,
well, all the more important that you take a victory through to that second phase. And they won't be easy games. A bit of a shock to see Germany out of contention for a place in the second round after just 2 games, losing the opening 2. But that is the price you pay if you start slowly. And I think it's to a slightly different extent because of the opposition they face, but the lesson that Canada have learned at this tournament as well, those slow starts have cost them.
I mean, it's the World Cup. Yeah, of course there's teams ranked high coming in, but anyone's beaten, and we've almost seen it here in this tournament so far. I think there's definitely some surprises moving on to the next round.
Joseph putting up the shot, can't get it to go. It's claimed by Maurice Sandor. Dalmeida into the corner for Thiam, who goes for the 3. Oh, it's a 2, just inside the line from Thiam. Cory Joseph. Another foul called. Sambe this time penalised, his second foul of the game. A new destination for these 2 teams as well in the next phase. They will be heading to Shanghai to join Germany and Jordan, as you mentioned. A 14-point lead here for Canada. Dalmeida.
And again, from this tournament, there are those 7 Olympic spots available. 1 from Africa, 1 from Oceania, 1 from Asia, and 2 from Europe and the Americas. So Senegal still in the hunt. A win today would definitely help their chances of stealing that spot for the Africas.
It's a great claim by Cory Joseph. Canada set to be the only America's side not making it through, as the follow is missed by Melvin Edgeham. The America's teams have performed really well at this tournament so far. As I mentioned, Canada the only ones not to make it through. Argentina, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Brazil and the Dominican Republic all through. And 3 of those teams haven't even played their full complement of games yet. They've got another game to come today.
And the U.S., did you mention the U.S.?
And the U.S. as well.
So great showing by the America's teams. And you know what, keep in mind, I mean, this is how difficult this group has been, because Canada beat those America's teams in qualifiers. So, you know, they went 10-2. They finished first out of the Americas in this tournament. So it just shows you, you know, what could have happened if you were in a different group. I know those aren't things that you think about. You see it, maybe you complain about it, you look at it a little bit, then you have to move that aside and say, this is, you know, this is what we've been given. What can we do with it? But, you know, it does go to show you. I mean, Canada beat Argentina, they beat Brazil, so Dominican, Puerto Rico. So, yeah, you know, maybe some Canada basketball fans are a little disappointed and thought they were drawn a little bit of bad luck moving into this tournament.
Super Ndoye making the free throw there. Still a big gap to make up here for this Senegalese team, 13 points down.
I mean, still a lot of time left, though. You have just under 7 minutes.
And just 3 points apiece in this fourth quarter so far. And no change in terms of the difference between the two teams in this fourth quarter, I should say, as Phil Scrub nails a three-pointer just to make Senegal's task that little bit more difficult. And you consider Canada were down by 11 at the end of the first, they'll be absolutely thrilled to be in this position now.
Like you mentioned, moving forward. Good job by Endor attacking the basket hard, and a nice pass by Dalmeida. But, you know, you mentioned at a tournament like this, you can't have slow starts. And we've seen that kind of been maybe Canada's Achilles heel in this tournament. Okay, they scored 20 points against Australia, but they were still down after the first quarter. Only 14 points against Lithuania. We're down 10 after the first quarter, 9 after the first quarter against Australia. It's difficult to continue to always have to, you know, crawl back into the game. I mean, it takes a lot of effort. You have to play every time you're on the court. Of course, you're giving 110%, but just the intensity level to always have to play when you're down, it takes it out of you.
Yeah, we certainly saw that in the first game in particular. They were, which is understandable, again, given the effort in the third quarter, but they were on their knees in the fourth. And similar against Lithuania, not quite to the same extent, but it was certainly a drop-off in level in those closing moments against that very, very strong Lithuanian team. Great bounce pass in by Heslip, and Ken Birch has drawn the foul. And he will go to the line once again. Super Ndoye who is penalised.
You know, 88% shooting team going into this game, 3 for Canada. They're only shooting 64, 65, 67% now, sorry, with that make 10 of 15, so a little uncharacteristic of Canada.
Ndoye. Yusufa Ndoye. St. Almeida. Thiam for three. It's no good. Ken Birch hooking it away, but straight back to Momar Ndoye. And Djibril Thiam, who didn't feature on game day 2. It's great defensive work from Canada, and Birch is there to snatch it. Bounce pass it to Joseph. Here is Ejim, who draws the foul. He'll go to the line for the extra. Ken Birch. Maurice Ndoye, the man giving away the foul there.
Good job by Ejim today. He has 8 points so far in this game, only averaging 4.5 points in this tournament in the first 2 games. So I like it. You know, from the start, he was, I think, a little bit more aggressive, maybe looking for himself a little bit more as an offensive option.
Ejim adds the extra. An 18-point lead for Canada now. Just over half of the final quarter to go. Turned over, and this is Melvin Ejim. He's got Birch with him. May not need him. Birch snatches the rebound. Out to Phil Scrub. Joseph to Pangos. Can't get it to go. Good claim once again by Birch. There's Cory Joseph. Steps back, goes for the three. Ejim and Ndoye tussling for it.
And good job by, Melvin Ejim. He didn't come up with the ball here, but hit it out of the hands of Endor, and it's Canada's ball. Again, I think Canada at this moment have 21 offensive rebounds. It's almost been the game changer for them. That's why, I mentioned points off turnovers and second chance points. Canada have done a great job at both those.
Yeah, just the 6 offensive rebounds for Senegal. We get another 2 on the board through Maurice Ndor. Here's Kevin Pangos, hands it out to Ken Birch with time. He can't get it to go. Pangos again. Joseph, edge him. Steps back, gets it to go. Superb from Melvin Edgeham. And all of a sudden, Canada up by 20. And now they have a firm grip on 3rd place in this group. 4 minutes, 18 seconds remaining to secure the victory, their first win of this World Cup. 73 points to 53.
Their first win in 17 years at a World Cup. And, you know, for Canada, that's not a statistic that you like to be counted in. So it will be nice to maybe get that monkey off their back.
Si vous voulez jouer le haut niveau, il faut quand même la difficulté. Réagir. Là, le problème, tout le monde peut faire. Je peux pas la tête. Je prends les soins. Quand il est plus là. La barre de saut, je laisse trop longtemps là-bas. C'est quand c'est le décalage, c'est double décalage. Même si tu es sur de la plusieurs temps, il faut le continuer. Allez les gars, allez, on travaille.
Well, Nick Nurse certainly been frustrated at various times at this tournament. Not everything has gone to plan in what was always going to be a tough group. This player's getting the reward for persisting and improving game on game. Here's Maurice Ndor for Senegal, looking to lay it up. It's going to come out to Zayn Dalmeida. Nice fake, gets it out to Lamine Sambe, goes for the 3. He can't get it to go. Good claim by Ndor again. And manages to scramble it free out to Dalmeida. Shot goes up from Diop, which is unsuccessful. Andrew Nembard getting in on the action for the first time here. There's Ken Birch looking to bank it in off the glass, can't get it to go. Almeida. Lamine Sambe. Oh, great rejection by Ken Birch. Big block. And Senegal have managed to reclaim possession. Third block of the game from Ken Birch. Ndor. Zayn Dalmeida. Out to Dalmeida again for 3. And 3-point shooting again, just letting them down a little bit in the second half. None from 4 for Dalmeida, 6 from 26 for Senegal overall. 23%. It's Kevin Pangos. Nembard with a long 3. Oh, superb! Andrew Nembard getting in on the action. It's another assist for Kevin Pangos. And it's a 3 for Andrew Nembard.
Canada shooting the ball well from 3 here in this game.
Dalmeida finally makes one. It's his first 3 of the game. Makes it a 20-point game once more. Just over 2 minutes to go. We'll have another look at this from Nembard. A huge 3. Canada have called the timeout. 76-56 their lead.
Run Dakota. Connor, go here. Okay. Owen, go here. And Phil. Andrew. Okay. Running Dakota. Hit. Bounce it back. Hit. Kaysa set the back screen. Andrew look lob. Look three balls. Look post up. Be ready for the press. All right. Be ready for the press. Press. Let's play good D. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Defense. 1, 2, 3.
And there you see Ken Birch with the highlights for Canada. 3 steals, 3 blocks. Connor Morgan with the 4 turnovers also. Nembhard, one of the youngsters in this tournament.
Andrew Nembhard knocking down that long 3 just shortly before the timeout. Getting some crucial minutes here. In closing stages of this game, it does look like Canada are going to get that all-important win as Kajami Keane gets involved and he hits a 3-pointer as well.
And you know, one of the advantages to being up by so much is you get to go to your bench, and that's what you see right now for Canada. You know, their starters all on the bench being able to rest because they still have at least 2 more games, possibly 3 more games in this tournament.
There is Maurice Ndor, and he drains a long 3 as well. He's within 1 point of a double-double now. Maurice Ndor has claimed 11 rebounds, has 9 points. As the tip-in doesn't quite happen there for Owen Klassen. This is Diop for Senegal. Finds Maurice Ndor. Goes for the 3, comes up short. There's still a 20-point difference, and Canada aren't doing their points difference any damage either.
You know, I really like the response from Canada after that first quarter. But, you know, to win games at this level in a tournament like the World Cup, you have to put together a 40-minute game. You can't, and we haven't seen Canada do that yet. Yeah, they're going to get the win here today, which was the most important thing. But the top teams at this level, they know how to put together 40-minute games. So, you know, I think moving forward, that has to be something that Canada addresses and looks at, and they need to figure out why they are starting so slow. You know, as far as Senegal goes, you had a great first quarter. They just, you know, they didn't have the same kind of rhythm. And maybe they're tired, you know. Maybe 3 games in 5 days, sorry, has been a little bit difficult for them. You know, I think you had the great start by Faye. Endor hasn't been the player that we've seen him be. Dalmeida, I think he played okay today, but the thing is, you know, when you have, he has 7 points and 7 assists, and I'm saying he played okay today. We saw him have a great game the last game, so you know that he's capable of playing better. And, you know, to beat good teams, to beat any team, you have to kind of stay at that level every single game and expect, you know, some of your stars, especially your starters, to play like that every game, and then you need to have contributions off the bench, and Senegal just have not got that here today.
Yeah, you mentioned it's not always the numbers, is it, that tells the whole story, because Maurice Ndor is closing in on a double-double, and you didn't feel his presence in that first half. It's been better in the second, but he just didn't feel like he was there, like he was influencing the team, and sometimes it's more than just putting numbers on the board.
Yep, absolutely. And just like, you know, Dalmeida had a good game, but he needed to do more.
Still 20-point game here as we head into the final 30 seconds. Canada closing in on that all-important win, the one they've waited so long for. Nembhard drawing the foul from Maurice Ndor.
Shooting 2.
22 points now, the difference. Canada doing a good job of improving that points difference. Minus 39 coming into the game today. Got that down to minus 17 as the final buzzer goes. It is a convincing win for the Canadians. They are off the mark in this tournament. Senegal with a bright start, but ultimately outclassed by Nick Nurse and his players. It's a positive end to what has been a very tough few days for both of these teams. Canada get the win, 82 points to 60. Well, Shona, it's been an entertaining few days from both of these teams. We've seen lots of good things from Senegal and from Canada, but ultimately, well, Canada in particular will be really pleased with the improvements they've made and more importantly, the win.
Yeah, it was a much-needed win. Both of these teams needed to win. Unfortunately, there is only going to be one winner. I do think that the more skilled team won tonight, being Canada. I mean, you know, they knocked down 12 three-pointers, so you give up 36 points from three. That's a lot. Like, that's difficult. You know, they also, I think, for me, one of the biggest stats is the 22 offensive rebounds, because Canada only shot 33% from three, which isn't an amazing shooting percentage, but 22 offensive rebounds. They were able to give themselves second chance points and second chance opportunities. There you see the shooting percentages, you know, 46% from two for Senegal, 22 offensive rebounds to just 8. And Senegal came into this averaging 14. But look at that, 20 second chance points, more points off of the bench. That, you know, Canada were the better team, and I think they are the better team. I think they're more skilled. They have more talented players. Cory Joseph, he was just great. He had 9 points at half. But it was that third quarter that really, he didn't even really play a lot in the fourth quarter. He ends up with 24 points. You know, Faye for Senegal started great for them, but again, he kind of disappeared, like a lot of their players disappeared here today. And, you know, I think this was maybe also a moral victory for Canada. They had to get that monkey off their back, you know, that 17-year drought at the FIBA World Cup is now over, so they can kind of concentrate on starting a new, you know, win-loss percentage, I think, after this. And it's just one more step for Canada trying to qualify for that, you know, Olympic berth. From our research that you and I have done, Oscar, we do believe that no matter what, they will be invited to an Olympic qualification tournament. Maybe they're one of those 16 from this tournament who gets invited. If not, I do think they will be one of the 2 from the Americas zone, so that will be next year, an Olympic qualification tournament in July. Unfortunately, that placement of that tournament is going to go off FIBA World Ranking. So if they can get 2 more wins here at this tournament and get that 23 ranking that they currently hold down a little bit, they'll be placed in what might be an easier group to qualify for the Olympics.
Yeah, that's also important as well. So the games still matter, even if, as you say,
yes,
the chances are with their ranking, they'll be at that tournament anyway. They'll still want to finish. It's about pride as well, as you said. You know, waited a long time. First World Cup since 2010 when they didn't win a single game. They played 5 games, lost all 5. So to get one on the board already, and they go on to Germany and Jordan, which will certainly be interesting as well. I think we had a look at the stats a little earlier on. Just one thing I wanted to point out, or wanted to ask you about quickly, was the second chance points, because you mentioned 20, which shows how good they were offensively in terms of rebounding. Senegal didn't score any in the match. That's, Nick Nurse will be delighted with that, won't he?
Absolutely. I mean, that's boxing out, but it's also, if you do give up an offensive rebound, it's playing good defense again for that second, you know, consecutive defensive possession. That's what Canada were able to do.
So this is what it means. Canada and Senegal are done for the first group phase. They finish 3rd and 4th respectively. Canada getting the win today, 82 points to 60. Lithuania and Australia have a 100% record coming into the game here in Dongguan. It'll be getting underway in just over a couple of hours. It is one to look out for. It should be an outstanding contest. But it's Senegal 4th, Canada 3rd, and Lithuania and Australia to battle it out for top spot in Group H. We'll see you a little bit later.